Hello there and welcome back to another Pro Demo review, and in today's episode we're looking at the 11 KD game from Gryxr from the Sonics. And Gryxr, great player, had a fantastic event, but probably shouldn't have been unexpected. EVP of Yonchping, EVP 6 Invitational, and also the MVP of the 21 NAL Finals. At this event, he went a 1.23 rating, second highest, a 114 to 74 KD, so plus 40 and a 71% cost as well, which is really impressive. And looking across at this match specifically, a 1.91 rating as the title. And as I mentioned, 11-1 in this game here on Clubhouse against Black Dragon. Sonics wipe the floor. Gryxr has a great game. Let's sit back, enjoy, and see what we can learn. Nook here for the first round, and a really nice pre-place inside of bar. Can actually see players rotating there. Slither through the bottles, I think it was. And you'll second drone ahead inside of kitchen. Gain some information. Rexon unfortunately falls, so that's hard breach down. And Gryxr is a little bit too far away to trade, so the spacing there was not great. But he gets free control of main. Can post up now in this position. Precarious now for anyone to rotate through armory. Can also play for Moto, that's what he does, nade down. And he just has control of sight. Okay, Sonics get control of sight, but it is a 2 versus 4. So it's still going to be tough. Geo will get the plant down, and we'll see if Gryxr can support in the post. Unfortunately, though, gets unfortunate timing there. Probably could have found one main on the rotate and then the second, but not to be. Pretty sloppy round there to kick things off from Sonics, but of course, as we already know, they turn it around really quickly. Nook gets dropped in round 2. IQ now in the hands of Gryxr. Good counter to the Valkyrie. Not banned out, instead banned at Azami. Banned a pretty specific ban here for Clubhouse. Post up now on Suicide, or the more broadcast friendly call of Vents, normally we call it. Just waiting patiently as the breach is getting opened up. Kanza gets the opening pick, so pressure on Black Dragons. Gryxr repositions, probably the right call. As you see, pre-fires do eventually come through, so he wouldn't have been in a good spot. See now how he tries to play out this round. Looks like Sonics may be posturing for a garage control here. You can see the drones working their way forward to find some information and facilitate this. Minute 20 to go. Kansan for his second in the round. And Sonics now should be going for a pretty straightforward trade out. Gryxr doesn't really find much to do in that round. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. Alright, we move into round 3 then. Gryxr sticks the IQ. He had a pre-placed drone to make sure that the strip side of the map was clear. So he's taking this pretty much for free. Kansan popping off at the moment, 4-1. He's the other player that goes 11-1 in this game. So these two combine really nicely. Line of sight created on the hatch here. Bit of pressure in towards Jim. Perhaps can find some information or maybe even a pick through that later on in the round. Gryxr will now just drain out main stairs, make sure that there's no one lurking on these positions. He'll spot that it is in fact clear, so he's chilling for now. Goes back to watching the hatch and actually will get a pick. So the pressure on the Aruni gets capitalized on there by the Sonics. And now it's already into a 5 versus 1. So Sonics really starting to steamroll this. We can watch the remainder of the round out now, but it's not going to go on for too much longer. Sonics really stamping their authority. Obviously a poor first round, but have done a good job to bring it back. And Gryxr has been pretty passive in a lot of these rounds, playing very, very safe positions, but they're working out nicely for him. Back to Church then for round 4. We saw the Sonics have some issues on this round last time, but they've gone to a much safer lineup here, bringing likes of the Jackal and the Ace, of course. Gryxr will get to work on the hatch. No Kaid being brought here by the defense. Not that it would be too much of an issue to deal with that anyway. And now the drone work comes through. Minute left on the clock. I don't think we'll see anything too wild here from the Sonics. Player posted up blue. And I assume the rest of the execute will probably come through kitchen, maybe even a drop in Moto as well to apply a bit of pressure. Gryxr just being super careful that no one's being allowed to play in a rat position. And they then to allow the drop. Gryxr holding the swing, but now needs to move. Has one Selma left. Actually places it top left of the main wall. Okay. Unfortunately, the next one does get jammed, though. 3v4 and he gets it down. Or maybe in a teammate. Tricky to tell on the replay. And they're looking to facilitate the plant from Kansan. Goes deep to the hard right corner of Church. Can only really get swung from the main corridor or blue. He's watching blue while Gunner watches main. So really good crossfire established there. There's no real way to deny that without Black Dragons being forced into an engagement. And now it's just the player left in blue. Gryxr holding a slide off angle. Smoked off. Still gets the kill. Well played. The Yana now then in the hands of Gryxr as Kansan gets yet another kill. And that's one of the things Gryxr's shown that he's really good at is his ability to flex onto a pretty wide array of operators. Which is great to have in Siege, especially with attacker repick now. You really get that flexibility on the fly to run what really is optimal against the defensive lineup. Put it into 2x here and just see how Gryxr goes about this round. See if there's much damage you can do with the shock drones maybe. In terms of taking out util, of course. Just so patient. Like very, very safe. And he gets rewarded. Watch that back. Maybe he gets a sound cue. Seems to have a good read as a player here. Yeah, hits the shot. Well played. Sees another on the vert. A little bit unlucky not to hit that one. Pretty much would have been the nail in the coffin for Black Dragons, but elsewhere, the Sonics just doing such great work. And the round's already over. Insane. Pretty clear at this point, Sonics are on a heater. Kansan and Gunner finding picks in this round. Gryxr was droning elsewhere, so not playing a particularly active role in finding those kills. But just alleviates a lot of pressure now on him to get his job done on the hard breach. He spent most of the time droning, making sure that this entry is clear. So, not too much to worry about. Probably just needs to be a little bit careful the main stairs cross. And there's already drones ready and waiting for that. In fact, he doesn't even need his util for the hatch. Gunner will open that with his secondary hard breach. Angle being held though by the Aruni up close on breach. Just something the Sonics will need to be mindful of. As Gryxr players active drones. Good one here inside of Church. Gets spotted though, probably made a little bit too much noise. That's unfortunate. Still got that information though. And if Sonics can try and isolate this pick onto the Aruni, they'll be in a very good spot. 30 seconds, so they have to be a little bit mindful here of time. Pressure now on that Aruni off the back of the Selma. Forces the Aruni on the swing, and Gryxr's ready and waiting. That's such a good read. Knows exactly what the Aruni is going to do there. And then just hits a nice one to close things off. 6-1 so far to end off the half. Into round 7, Sonic's going to CCTV, and Gryxr's been posted up in this composition, pretty much holding this angle for the majority of the round. Also just being mindful of a lurk down below, using the angle down in towards stock. Now, there is a Montang in play here for Black Dragons. But the Warden utility specifically is not going to play a huge part. No smokes. And just the flashes from Nade. We'll actually watch this back real quick because from memory, this is actually a pretty crazy play on Rafters. I think I was watching this live. I think it's Rexon. Yeah, let's watch this back. Obviously not relevant to Gryxr, but watch how he deals with this Montang. Boom. Under a lot of pressure from this position. Really trying to hold this ground for Sonics. If he dies, maybe Black Dragons can posture for an attack. Montang gets around him. Goes for the drop shot. Then the melee. Then kills him. Then gets the second. That play, insane. Gryxr's just, he's still just chilling back. He repositions a little bit more aggressively on the breach here. But the round, for all intensive purposes, is already over unless Sonics throw picks willy-nilly. Rexon does confirm that a second one eventually. And now this shield. I love this shield. I think it's pretty underrated. You can see the shadows as well. They're favorable for the defense. A little bit shaky there. But still enough pressure to drop these players off the breach. Rexon's on for 4. I can't remember if he gets the ace. No, he doesn't. He gets downed. That's unfortunate. Maybe Gryxr will get the final kill here. Yeah, there we go. On the breach. Okay. The cap can in play then for Gryxr here in round 8. As we already know, he finishes with 11 kills, so this round, obviously he goes pretty insane. So we'll watch it in its entirety and see how he goes about roaming around the map, causing some issues here for Black Dragons, whose confidence has probably already taken quite a hit at this point. Line is in play, so it's something Gryxr will need to contend with. Nomad as well. But it may be a case of wasting time and dropping back. Kind of depends how aggressively Sonics really want to play it. Vert established up above by the sledge, I think. Maybe in the defense, I'm not entirely sure. But at the moment, just playing super passive, looking for drones. Ensuring that he's not being watched on a pre-placed as well, which is always important to do. Black Dragons actually get the first pick in the round. And the second. Dude does eventually find a trade. Gryxr gets notified that there's players on site. He needs to get back. Unfortunately timed a little bit there on Chassis, but then gets away with it. And 2 players line up. So he'll take that one. Has a read on the third. Hits a nice headshot there onto the ace. So the card's falling his way a little bit here, but I mean Sonic's a 6-1 up, so you would naturally expect that. Now with a minute 20 to go, let's see where Nade is. Over towards blue making sound. Gryxr reacts by positioning main. If Kansan doesn't overpeak here, it'll be fine. Obviously, you can't trade him if he does, so I'm sure they'll be talking about that. Just making sure they're on the same page. As we will roll this clip through. Nade still on drone. Looking for an entry. Goes over towards dummies. As you can see, Kansan's just mainly playing for info here. Nade goes to plant. Gryxr hears it. He'll wait for Kansan, push up. Bit of noise made to try and get him off the plant, but he sticks. Doesn't matter. Gryxr hits the shot. 4k to kick things off, or to close things off, not kick things off. And 11-1. Gryxr, Kansan. Fantastic games. Sonics across the board. Very, very dominant in this match, but still a fun one to watch. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.